What a cold one we're having today. Well, actually, no, it's a hot one. That's why we are cooling ourselves off with a creamy one. Because today we are discussing Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 24, A Spoonful of Revival Ice Cream. Revival, I get what they're going for, but I think they could have used a better word for it. Like, spoonful of healing ice cream or spoonful of refreshing ice cream. I don't know. I don't know. Just my thoughts on how I would change the title. But, I'm not Toei. It's not my decision to make. But yeah, we get new form in this episode, and I am gosh darn excited because honestly, while I'm not a fan of having a cyan with beige brown color palette, I do like the aesthetic of it. I like what it's going for. Maybe they should have went with the Neapolitan motif though, for the Neapolitan motif. With the whole like strawberry vanilla chocolate. Or what would be even more interesting is if they held off on the ice cream form for later and have it be a thing where like when Shoma, Lakia, and Hanto finally team up, all three of them together, their hearts united. They're gonna become the three flavors of ice cream where Hanto is the chocolate, Lakia is the strawberry, and Lakia is the vanilla. No, Shoma is vanilla and Lakia is strawberry. That way, all three of them combined, they become a Neapolitan team up. Kind of like Geo Trinity form, but but ice cream themed. That would have been a much more interesting way of doing this. I'm not saying I don't like what we got this episode. What we got this episode was actually really good, but it could be better. No, I don't know why they went with sorbet specifically for their design, but it is what it is. Anyway, so where we left off in the previous episode, Shoma was chasing after Bitter Gavv on their ATVs, and he has sort of like this mental block that's making it difficult for him to make new gochizos when he eats snacks. Meanwhile, Hanto is investigating a lead because his friend is supposed to give him some like information or something, but the chef at the restaurant where they met up at paid him to learn more about Hanto's what Hanto wants to know. So, unfortunately, Shoma got his butt kicked royally by Bitter Gavv. He even makes fun of him, saying, "You're even weaker than before. What's wrong with you, kiddo?" And by the way, I love some of these sequences. Like there's this part where Bitter Gavv's ATV does this power slide under a construction vehicle. I'm like, I didn't even know it could do that. And even when it becomes its turret form, like it does its turret form in a way that's different from the way Shoma's does, where it's like he doesn't even need to have the Volcandy form in order to use it like a minigun. Instead, it's more like a turret. So those are some interesting changes. I wonder if they actually used a different mold for this, or they just repainted it, the ATV, and this is just a custom form that did exist, but we didn't just see originally. Like, it's like this. In Transformers Robots in Disguise, based on Transformers Car Robot, in 1999 and aired on television in American television 2001. we had like there was like Megatron is advertised as having 6 forms, but then when he like morphs into Galvatron for like the last arc of Car Robot, he what's it called? The toys advertised as having 10 forms, but the thing is, it's the same toy just repainted. So all 10 forms were actually already there. It's just that like they would only advertise 6 out of the 10 forms, and also it's the concept is very loose because it's like, yeah, you have a 2-headed dragon form, a robot form, a bat form, a hand form, a jet form, and I think the 6th one was a car form. But then if you do some pseudo transformation, yes, you got the Iron Horse or whatever that form was called, which is like the main thing that Megatron did when he became Galvatron. Honestly, yeah, it was cool, but it's like marketing wise, it does make you feel a little ripped off because at the end of the day, you're just getting a different color of the same toy. I prefer the new color, don't get me wrong, but it's still a cheat. It's still a cheat. So again, I wonder if the Volcanon ATV already had these new forms that the spicy Volcanon has, but like it's just not in the instructions. If anyone has that toy, do let me know about it. So, after we go to our theme song, Sachika is like flashing back on what's it called? Sachika is nursing Shoma, who is severely injured. Like she found his body, and she took him home, nursed him, and she's flashing back to a phone conversation she had with Hanto, where she reveals, "Yeah, pretty much figured out that you're Valen. Yeah, Shoma didn't have to tell me anything. I figured it out on my own. I put the dots together. I only know about Shoma being a writer, but piecing things together, I figured out on my own that you were Valen this whole time." I'm like, Sachika, darling, dear, why are you not the main character? Why are you just the obligatory female lead supporting character? You deserve better than this. You deserve, like, even more than May. Like, May got robbed when she did not become Espada. I still hold a grudge against Saber for not making her Espada, but you deserve not just to be a tertiary writer. You deserve to be the main writer. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Shoma. I love Hanto. I love Lakia. Like, it's not often I love all of the cast members of the team. But even in that circumstance, you should be the main writer. Like I could talk about Gotchard, where Rene should have been the main writer, and Spanner should have been the secondary writer, and Sabimaru should have been, or better yet, freaking Dorado? No, Kajiki should have been the tertiary writer. Ichinose is boring and should not be a writer to begin with. But that's just because the show was just that bad. And Rene was the least terrible character in the squad. At least of the ones that actually did become writers. But you're the best character, even when the entire cast is amazing. What the hell? Sachika, you are too goated to just be relegated to a supporting human character. You deserve so much more, and then some. You're not just the best girl. You're the best of all time. You're the boat. Yeah, You're not just the goat. You're the boat. The best of all time. Okay. But yeah, Hanto goes in to investigate the lead that his friend gave him. But turns out it was all a setup, because what I love more than my high school friend is money. But just as he's about to walk away, the dude turns him into a human press. I'm like, I'm not surprised. But also, it would have been even scummier if he actually knew that the dude was a Granute and still sold Hanto out. And I don't mean it sold him out of fear. Sold him out for greed. It's like, I don't care his Granute. He paid me money. That's all that matters. That would have made him even scummier. But like, whether or not he turns into a human press, I'm indifferent, because I can go both ways on that issue. But with that in mind, now we go to the really fun part. Oh, hold on. Firstly, yeah. So the way the trap worked is there's a bunch of octopus pots, because if you paid attention to Pokemon, octopuses live inside pots, apparently, and they all shoot a bunch of sticky ink that paralyzes Hanto, so he's struggling to transform. So now we get to the good part. Lakia attempts to murder Dente. And I have to say, this would have been a very interesting turn of events, because let's be honest, at this point in time, Dente is the only blood relative. Well, technically not blood relative, because he's actually a granduncle. But the point is, he's the only relative, human or Granute, that's still alive and isn't trying to kill him. So interesting would be for Shoma's dynamic with Lakia, if Lakia ended up killing Dente. That would have been interesting. But but Dente's like, you know what? I won't even hold it against you. I respect that you want revenge. I hurt your brother, even if it was indirectly. Just make it quick. That's all I care about. Honestly, I deserve to die because I'm a bloody coward. Like Shoma, the poor boy, who I genuinely care about. Like all of his siblings are trying to kill him, and he still fought back against them. And even managed to kill one of them, while I hid back here in this cave like a total coward. Who knows? If I stood up to my older brother, like Shoma stood up to his older siblings, maybe Comer would have still been alive. So you know what? You deserve to spill my blood. I won't even look at you. You can cut me down from behind. And if you watch One Piece, you know that if you're going to cut someone down, if you're going to be cut down, you don't want to be cut down from behind, because that is considered disgraceful. It's a thing with Zoro. It was a thing with Edward Newgate. You don't have to be a One Piece fan to know this, but damn, Dente has fallen hard, and he admits to it, and he's willing to take the responsibility of being disgraceful. Woo! So, and he's like, it's like, all I ask in return is that that you take care of Shoma in my place. I'm not going to be able to take care of him, so I want you to do it for me. At least do that much for me. So that prompts Lakia to spare him his life. And because he spared him his life, he gets him a new phone and a ton of snacks. So now they both have a Gochizo phone. Those are really cute. I swear. I love those things. So now we get to Hanto's fight. And what happens is, because he's trapped in all that sticky ink, he's not able to use his standard Chakodon, whether it's milk or white. So one dark Chocodan that Suga gave him in the previous episodes starts fighting back against the octopus Granute and even frees Hanto out of the ink, just enough for him to be able to use the Chocodan in order to transform into what is basically a dark Valen. He looks, I was hoping he would look a little bit differently, but the only real change is that now he has little little black etchings on the white chocolate pieces of his costume. I mean, don't get me wrong. The added decal look cool, but I was hoping to see more from a new form. Maybe it's because he needs like a new weapon, but a premium, in order to actually make full use of the Dark Chocodan, but because he doesn't have that equipment, he has to make do with what he has. So we cut to bitter Shoma trying to cause havoc. There's no one around, so he's bored. So he decides to destroy the place in order to lure out Shoma. Naturally, Shoma does try to fight back while he's still having abdominal cramps because of his mental block. But he does what he can. He's really suffering. Like his armor is just falling to pieces. And while Lakia, he does get a notification from one of the popping gummy goat cheeses while he's on a boat, and it's going fast. And I got a nautical theme, Pashmina Afghan. So it's like, oh, Shoma's in trouble. I better go to him. Sachika shows up on a bike, and guess what? She pulls a Curtis Richie and actually tries to fight against Bitter Gavv. Put some respect on this woman. She has no combative background. Curtis and Richie, they have some martial arts skills. Maybe not as much as Trini and Zach do, but they do have some martial arts background. And then they utilize that background in order to fight putties as civilians. Sachika has no combat background. She's not a writer, but she still takes what looks like a spatula and tries to fight back against Bitter Gavv. And keep in mind, Bitter Gavv, it's just to give you an idea, it's you're not just fighting a putty. You're fighting Prince Gasket. Not even Sprocket. Straight up Gasket. Sachika. To give you an idea, imagine if that one girl from that Magnet episode of Mighty Morphin, that Billy had a crush on, who's in charge of those Girl Scouts. If that random civilian girl that has a crush on Billy fought against Prince Gasket. Thankfully, we don't have to concern ourselves with how it plays out because intervening is of Lamb, and he does fight back. Bitter what's it called? Dark Valen. He's pulling a great fight against the octopus dude. He's just tearing apart his tentacles. And he even slams his head through a pavement wall and then shoots him point blank. It is a beautiful fight. And even after the fact, he just stomps on one of his tentacles and it just goes splatter. And Hanto grabs the press of his former friend that betrayed him and says, "You asshole, you're going to pay for this." Whoa. Hanto. Whoa. Whoa. Meanwhile, Lamb is getting his butt kicked because as cool and tough as he is, he's getting his butt kicked. And also Sachika's who is he? Oh, he's a Granute, but he's on our side. Good for you. good for you, just like telling the facts. But unfortunately, Shoma has abdominal cramp, so he's not able to do anything. So what is Sasha gonna do? She gets an idea. She goes out, raids this ice cream truck, and actually gets him some what looks like a bubblegum sorbet. To be honest, I'm not a fan of sorbet. I wish I was like a blueberry like cream instead, but you know, it is what it is. And Shoma takes a lick of it, and he has a flashback of his mom like trying to tend to him while he has a fever. And she mentions, "Oh man, I wish I had ice cream." Don't Shoma, ice cream heal tends to a broken heart and an injured body. And Shoma's just like licking that up. He's, you know, it's like the Kiss song, lick it up, oh, it's only right now, lick it up. And then out comes an ice cream gochizo, and oh my god, it's so adorable. And like it has like a very manly voice. But let me just tell you, I love that we finally have an ice cream themed superhero. So, you know, and you know what I love about ice cream is that it's actually very easy to make. In fact, it's so easy. It's one of the first things I learned how to make when I was learning to cook. See, I was actually 4 years old, and what I did, and all you got to do is, you know, take some milk and heavy cream, mix it together, add some vanilla, add some sugar. Although me, with the way I am right now, I prefer erythritol. And the thing is, the reason you got to use whole milk, got to use heavy cream, because you need that viscosity. You need that fat. You need those lipids. It's not the sugar that makes ice cream so good. It's the fat. The fat is the best part of ice cream. Never get fat-free ice cream. You can get sugar-free ice cream, but not fat-free ice cream. That's the best part, especially when it's dairy fat. It's the best kind of fat. Way better than plant-based fat. Because, you know, oil. But butter, cream, that's the good stuff. It's thick, it's creamy. It's hard when you freeze it, and malleable when you melt it. And the vanilla gives it that savory flavor, because yes, vanilla contains glutamate. Put it together. You mix it together. You get rid of those air bubbles, because the air bubbles create ice crystals. And of course, put it in a bag. And then you put it inside another bag with ice and rock salt in there. And the reason you use rock salt is in order to keep the temperature low, because you need the ice to cool down the actual dairy. But the rock salt keeps the ice from melting, because it absorbs the heat, so the ice doesn't. And so you put that bag inside that bag, and then you shake out the bigger bag as much as possible, because the shaking gets rid of the air bubbles, because you don't want those ice crystals. Over time, it becomes thick, it becomes creamy, it becomes ice cream. The best part is you can put it in the freezer, and you can save it for later. You don't need an ice cream machine. You can make it from home. And fun fact, the first frozen desserts were actually made in the BC eras, like 600 BC, I think it was, with the ancient Persians. But modern ice cream was first invented in the 1600s, believe it or not. But nevertheless, there's no way ice cream won't make you feel better. Is it healthy? Debatable. Depends on how much you eat, what you put inside it. But will it make you feel better? You're damn right it does. So he takes that ice cream cone, plugs it into his second mouth. And it opens up into like, it's kind of like it's kind of like the Foodroid from Kamen Rider Forze, except instead of splitting open from the swirl, it splits open from the cone, which is an interesting change of pace. But 3 segments, it still splits into 3 segments. That's adorable. And we get our beautiful new form. Oh man, that new form. Okay, so I'm not a fan of that bronze cone color mixing with that metallic purple and that lustrous blue. It just clashes a little bit, but I respect the aesthetic. It's because it's an ice cream cone with sorbet. I'm not a fan of sorbet, but I do respect the work that went into the shaping of the costume. Again, I think they should have went with a Neapolitan design where each of the 3 riders represents one of the 3 flavors. You got vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and you have Shoma, Hanto, and Lakia. But man, this dude is freaking cryokinetic, so much so that you see sublimation like oozing out of his body. It's not, well, sublimation doesn't actually ooze. It's more of a, it just diffuses in the air. So if you don't know what sublimation is, basically when a heat turns into a liquid, it's called melting. When a liquid turns into when a solid turns into a liquid, it's called melting. When a liquid turns into a gas, it's evaporation. When a gas turns back into a liquid, it's condensation. And when a liquid turns into a solid, it's called freezing. But there are instances where a solid goes straight to a gas, or a gas goes straight to a solid, and it's based on a radical temperature change, like very radical. And ice cream tends to do that because ice cream tends to be like anywhere between -5 to +2 Celsius. So when it's exposed to like regular temperature, let's say anywhere between 15 to 20 degrees Celsius at its coldest, the solid ice cream molecules sublime into a gas. That's why it looks like there's like steam coming out of the ice cream. It's not actually steam. It's sublimation. It just, like, all the heat has to release somehow, and it breaks down those solid molecules really fast into a gas. In case you're wondering what the opposite is, well, imagine the frost on your car. It's like the gas on the vapor gas outside of your car, like it immediately hardens when it touches the glass of your car, causing sheets of ice to form against the glass. That's the opposite of sublimation. Anyways, but man, this dude's icy breath causes things to freeze. Even his sword freezes. He he makes like this ramp. It creates this giant platform. They climb up the platform. They're having a fight on top of it. It's like the ice bridge from that scene in Mortal Kombat 2 when Sub-Zero and Liu Kang are fighting against Scorpion. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is better than that scene because the ice does not look rubbery. But standing on top of an ice bridge, that is just beautiful. It's so beautiful. Dare I say, it's really cool. Yeah. And the fight sequence is just amazing. Oh man, all the camera angles. And yeah, Sachika's there recording the whole thing because Sachika reasons. And I love how he takes advantage of the ice breath, like at every chance he gets. And like the ice sword like breaks apart at times, so then he has to use his ice breath to refreeze his sword. Like, they're just really going at it. It's a beautiful fight sequence. The ice is breaking around them and everything. But Shoma uses one final attack, like an icicle illusion, where he has a bunch of like ice cream cone spears like surround him, like he's using the Fi's Crimson Crash during Excel form. And oh man, like ice crystals everywhere are crashing, and in one of them you could see Shoma's reflection as it flies across. Oh man, it's such a beautiful fight scene. And of course, it cuts to Sachika posting updates. It's like, yeah, the real Kamen Rider fought against a faker. Hashtag real hero. Hashtag the real deal. Man, Sachika, you're such a boat. Best of all time. Man, I love Sachika. She's the best character in the show. I cannot begin or continue to describe how awesome she is. She should be the main character. And yeah, and she even invites Lakia to not only live with the group, but also work for her company because he's like, but I'm a graduate. Yeah, I know you're a graduate. But you're friends with Shoma, so that makes it okay. She's so adorable! Sachika's the best. And she gives him her nickname, Lakian. Meanwhile, they do get a call from, or rather a text message from Hanta saying that he defeated the Granude on his end. But Hanto says to himself, with this, I can fight on my own. I don't need Shoma's help anymore. I don't have to rely on him. But you notice that the Dark Chakudon is sneering. I knew it. I totally called it. He's going to be corrupted. I just know it. Oh, man. This was a great episode. Oh, yeah. And I love how the ice cream Chakudon melts instead of just disappearing. Because it's like, that's being true to the whole ice cream motif. Okay. This episode, perfect 10. It's flawless. It's just amazing. I love the character development between Lakia and Dente. I love the development between Shoma and Sachika. I love that Sachika is actually like carrying the team at this point, even more so than May did. And again, I'm not hating on May. I'm just saying they took something that was already good and made it better. The difference here is this isn't SAO. If May and Sachika were an original anime and an abridged series, this isn't SAO abridged where they took something bad and made it good. This is Hellsing where they took something good and made it better. Sachika is a May, but better. She carries the team. She's the best of all time. She's the boat. She is the boat. She is the boat. Take a good hard look at this amazing freaking boat. I have nothing more to say. Oh yeah, and well, actually, I do have one more thing to say. Yeah, with Hanto like potentially having a heel turn. Let's see how this plays out. Can't wait to see it. But I really think that there should be a thing where it's like Hanto, Shoma, and Lakia need to like put their hearts together in order to become their best selves. Also, given that Lakia had some kind of surgery done to him to become a writer to begin with, would it be interesting? And this is something I just thought of just now. Given that Shoma is a natural hybrid, he's half human, half Granude. Valen, Honto, is a human who's been augmented with granule tissue to become a rider. So here's the new thing I just thought of. We don't know what Niel really did in his surgery to turn Lakia into Vlam. What if he had to transplant human tissue into a granute? What if Vlam is the contrast of Valen, where one is human with surgically implanted granule tissue, while the other is a granute with surgically implanted human tissue? So they're hybrids in 3 different ways, and they all have to team up. They all have to team up in order to be able to become their best selves. That's my thought, or at least that's the direction the show should go. And yes, hopefully, we're gonna get another defeated stomach family member very soon. I very much doubt it's going to be Jeeb. It's that does seem like the logical thing, because we're going from weakest to strongest. If are you doing the traditional thing? It's we're gonna start with Jeeb or Sheeta and work our way up to Longo. No, I don't think that's how we're going to play it out. I think it's going to play out a little bit differently. The exact order probably won't be from youngest to oldest. After all, they kind of implied that Sheeta is older than Jeeb. Even though they're twins, one has to be older than the other. It is implied that Sheeta is the older of the twins. But the only reason that she's the one who died is because she pushed Jeeb out of the way. Who knows? Who knows who the final villain will be? It might not even be Longo. Maybe Niel will be the final villain because he's got the ulterior motives. Maybe it's Jeeb who went into exile and probably wants to have a final redemption arc where he tries to avenge his sibling. Parentheses around the plural. Maybe it might not even be a member of the Stomach family. Maybe Suga will be the final villain. Maybe all the research he's been doing was to make himself the ultimate human granute life form. Maybe it won't even be any of them. Maybe Shoma's grandfather survived, and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm totally back." Like Charles Z. Britannia. I hope that's not the one that they go with. But let me know what you guys think. It's just a theory, a Toku theory. More of a hypothesis, really. Hey, I hope you're doing okay. Oh, thank you. Usually starting the stream later, I mean something is going on behind the scenes. Hope you're doing okay. No, I appreciate that you're trying to check in on me, but it is, it's been a rough day, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Hope you have plenty of ice cream to make you feel. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You think Honto will get a chocolate ice cream form? I don't know. It seems logical, but it doesn't. But not everything has to be. Oh, let's do a copy paste of all of Shoma's forms and just copy paste it with chocolate. It doesn't have to be that. So far, a lot of them have been. Let's not go that route. Sachika keeps proving to be the best character. Absolutely. There is no doubt about it. Okay. That's it for the comments, guys. We hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon. Stay notified for our latest videos. On Monday, we are going to finish Ultraman X by doing the Ultraman X the movie. Then Wednesdays we're continuing Kamen Rider Gavv. On Thursdays we're continuing #1 Sentai Gojuger. What we're gonna replace with so after we do Ultraman X, we're gonna go back to the original Ultraman. That's right, we're doing the second season of the Ultraman franchise, which features the original Ultraman, because Ultra Q does not have Ultraman in it. It's kind of a weird thing, but it is what it is. But that's perfect, because on Sundays we are doing the original 1971 Kamen Rider. That's right, baby. We're doing the season that started it all. All 98 episodes and 2 movies across 19 installments of our podcast. And starting with this season, we will be streaming on Twitch as well. So definitely be sure to follow my Twitch channel, because that's where we'll be simulcasting the stream. So don't miss out on that. So like, if you're not into like watching our content on YouTube or Facebook, you now have a third platform to watch it on, just to diversify your content. And with that in mind, check out our recent Power Morphicon interview uploads. We got Rory D. Travis, and coming soon, Kelson Henderson. That's right. We're getting 2 legends. We get a Red Ranger and an Orange Ranger. But more realistically, we got 2 Red Rangers right here. One's already up there. One will be up on Saturday. We hope you guys enjoy, because they're right here on the Morphin Network. And check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do various movie reviews. And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, we hope you enjoy. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and eat plenty of ice cream. Have a good one. Bye.